We sing every night of Chanukah, Yevonim nikbetzu alai. The Greeks gathered upon me. Azai b'mei chashmanim, in those days of the Chashmanim. Ufortzu chomot migdalai v'tim'u kol hashmanim. They broke the walls of my towers, and tim'u, they defiled all my oils. The big question is, most of us understand, tim'u kol hashmanim is that they happen to have defiled the oils. They happen to have touched them, they happen to have smashed them, they were breaking everything, they were running around, they were killing, and so the oils got touched and defiled. However, the word properly would have been v'nitm'u kol hashmanim. The oils became defiled. It happened. However, v'tim'u is a language that implies conscious defiling. They were running around like a bunch of Greeks, touching the oil and doing whatever it would take in order to defile it. Look, here's Tumah. I touched it. Ha! And the biggest question is obviously what that means. Really, they were running around, touching all the oil. I got you. You're it. Tag. I defiled you. It sounds so strange. However, in Maseches Yadayim we see many arguments between the Prushim and Tzedukim about many things, and amongst them being Tumah. And it says in Perek Dalet in Yadayim Mishnah Zayin, just kidding, Mishnah Vav, that the Tzedukim said, we're not impressed with you Prushim, we don't understand something. The Kisvei HaKodesh, all the holy scrolls, they bring tumah to the hands. Chazal instituted a certain tumah. You don't just touch scrolls, you have to put them in special places. And Sifrei Homer, Einam Tamim Yadayim, do not. And they were very perturbed by this. Why is it that there's a difference between Homer and the Sifrei HaKodesh, the books of Tanakh? Why does that make sense? So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai basically said to them, well, what's the difference between camel bones and people bones? The people bones bring tumah to the hands. Jewish bones bring tumah to the hands, but camel bones do not. So I said, oh, that's easy. Camel bones aren't beloved to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so the bones are not metamen. But people are beloved to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore they do bring tumah. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said back, don't you understand, it's the same thing here. Homer, which is not so beloved to us, is not metamei. The Sifrei Kodesh, which are beloved to us, do bring tumah. Very simple. We find in Greek literature, there are a lot of aspects that are really very close to the Jewish approach. And they proclaim themselves to be the progressive thinkers. We understand life better than the ancients, those ancient archaic Jews. They don't really understand the proper understanding of life, of the meaning of life. We are progressive thinkers. Well, the Greeks are no longer here, and we continue to light up the wintry nights with our Chanukah candles. And that, I think, is the biggest yesod of Chanukah. We go and we light up oil, and we say, with one very simple claim, we were up for annihilation many times, and we're here. We're going to be here, we will always be here. We won that war, we've won many wars. We are not going anywhere, and we will rise. And the world will realize that the values of Torah, and they're saying they are truth, and they cannot be compromised. There are changes in life, changes in society, and Torah deals with each one appropriately. But the emes that is brought to us by Torah's values, that is supreme. And no progressive thought out there in the world is going to push it away. The candles of Chanukah, the Rambam says, is a mitzvah gedola v'chaviva hi ad ma'od. It's a very loved mitzvah by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by the Jewish people, and that is why a person who has no money still has to go sell his shirt off his back in order to be able to light those candles. We don't say that by other mitzvos, we don't say that by other holidays. Neiros Chanukah, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes in order to light the Chanukah candles. Because this is about actual practical life. I find amongst especially many Talmidim that the biggest problem why mitzvos become a struggle out of yeshiva is not because of the philosophical questions of why, how, who said God exists, He doesn't. That's not the biggest problem. The practical living, it just, how to do it, how to fit it into my life. How does it work in my life? I'm set up, my style of living is this way, and you want me to fit it in. It's not fitting. Practically, it doesn't work and it falls apart. That, I believe, is the biggest reason why many Talmidim struggle. And come the Chanukah candles, and they say, Rabbosai, Hollywood has its ideals that it teaches us. Society has its ideals that it comes to teach us. And we come along and we say, Torah, the light of the candles, our ideals are going to stay lit la'olam v'ed. And we're committed to them. And it doesn't matter if you don't have money, you do whatever it takes. Because more than any other chag, this is the one where it's as an opposite, a direct contrast to all the other values out there in the world. I like Chanukah candles. I believe that the values of Torah will supply me and the whole world with the best world. That's the most progressive thought. And Amir Hashem, if we understand this, then we can actually begin to see how Torah really fills our lives. Torah really supplies every single person with meaning, with a proper understanding of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, proper understandings of relationships, bein adam lachaveiro, proper understandings of the relationships between employees, employers, parents, and children. Every single relationship today is a difficult struggle. And Torah comes to tell us this is the proper way to live. And we start, you go to a night seder, and you go every night to a night, you learn a little. They're Talmidim, I started learning with them a little bit, once a week, and it evolved into many times. They're running to shiurim, you start with one tefillah, let it grow and grow, in order to really light those candles, the Ava, Ubezrizos, to light up the whole world.